go.
That's a fucking healthy pour. Thank you, sir. We're a go, Captain.
Is this thing on?
Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready, bud.
There it is. Problem and clock started.
Yes.
Welcome back, you motherfucker. Here, I fucked that up. Welcome back, you motherfuckers. I was too excited.
You were very excited.
It's a good day to be in the studio because it's me hanging out with my buddy and we're gonna talk some shit today.
It's the second time this week too.
I know, man. JJ was like, "Are you gonna record?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess I could. I guess if I don't have to go to practice." Fuck.
Man, do I have to have a drink with my buddy too?
Yeah, shit.
You're really asking a lot.
Yeah. So here, cheers, brother. I don't think we did that on the last one because our shit's all fucked up.
We didn't. We're changing things up for the YouTubes and all that, so we've upended our entire life here in the studio. So
that's good.
Probably a couple more changes to come till we figure our lives out.
Yeah. We're still trying to figure it out. I mean, it's every day I think it's fine, and then JJ's like, "Well, what if we did this?" Like, we just started getting paid, man. Leave it alone.
Don't worry. When I get home, my wife does the same thing. What if you guys did this? What if we did that? So we're going to have a team meeting here probably tomorrow and try to sort the rest of our lives out.
Oh, is Kendra going to cook? I'm in on it. Let's go.
We can ask her to.
I mean, all right, now I got to think about what I want. Man, I don't know what to do with my hands anymore.
I know, we fell into the same routine, so we'll change it up. So usually at this part, I shamelessly self-promote.
Let's do it.
So we'll do that real
Let's
quick.
do it.
YouTube, please keep watching the YouTube videos.
Yes, we are about $1.75 in earnings right now, so we can buy a lollipop.
Yeah. JJ sent me a text this morning. She was like, all right, it's official. We started making money. We had made 1 cent.
Yes, we made 1 cent this morning. And by this afternoon, we were up to $1. So we're trending in the right direction.
The trajectory is upwards.
Yes.
No, it's good. So, yes, please keep going. Check us out. Like, subscribe.
Yeah.
React, comment, all that kind of stuff on YouTube. Obviously, Instagram, Shattered Wisdom. I am Shattered Wisdom _Jack. He is Shattered Wisdom _Jerett.
I am.
Shattered Wisdom Podcast on Instagram, shatteredwisdom.com, and shatteredwisdompodcast.com.
Yeah, so we're going to try to drive traffic there, so JJ's going to have to start doing something with it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you want to draw a question?
We'll do.
Ooh, maybe it'll be a listener question. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a paragraph.
I'm going to have to put my glass down to read this one. Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh. Jeez. Really throw it back. Throw it back.
Oh, it's from Tina.
Oh, Tina wrote us a book.
Well, she put her answer on here, too. Tina does all the things right.
We love you, Tina.
Tina's got a birthday coming up, too.
Yes, she does.
What's a belief or an opinion you used to hold on to but no longer do?
I was forever under the belief, and I still kind of am, but I kind of let it go and change my ways of your vote doesn't matter. So, and I looked at it on the whole scheme of things. Like, I think that in your local things, it matters a lot.
Sure.
Now that I pay attention. But before, I never voted because I was like, it doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter what you vote for, whatever the elites want, because it's throwing a fucking just chance into the wind, right? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, how are you really going to count all these? And how are you going to be accountable? And what if I'm in the military and I'm on a ship and that package goes in the water?
Sure. It's like taking a grain of sand to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I always looked at it before. And now I think that it does matter. Maybe not so far in the sense that if 90% of California voted red, it still wouldn't be a blue state.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that it's important to voice your opinion, and it's your right. And I think that now that I look at it that way, I think that it's an absolute privilege to be able to vote. So I encourage everybody to do it.
Yeah. Mine is actually similar to kind of what Tina wrote here. I used to believe that you used to need to have a lot of friends and a lot of diverse different groups.
Right.
You know, I floated amongst every different type of group of people when I was in high school and college. And it's just really taxing.
Yes.
And after a while, trying to maintain all those friendships and maintain that social life and to do all that is absolutely exhausting. At the end of the day, too, you start looking at it and start going, these people don't like those people. And
right.
I don't really like everything that they're talking about and things like that. And I used to really think like I had a big friend group and I needed to have a lot of different types of friends.
Yeah.
And that somehow gave me some kind of social status or something. And I really used to key in on that. And then as the more and more I've gotten older, the more I'm like, I don't need that many friends. And you and I laugh and joke and say, our friend group is full.
It's full.
We're not taking any future applicants. Our friend group is full. So
somebody's got to leave for room to be made.
So here's what Tina says. Tina said, my grandma used to tell us that there is no such thing as friends. There is only family. She was a grumpy lady and didn't trust anyone.
Grandma's smart.
Yeah. Tina says, I'm an introvert and it's difficult for me to trust people. I also hate being disappointed by people, so I often say, this is why I don't have friends. However, over the past few years, I've learned to appreciate my closest friends. I definitely value my relationships with them. I've learned that even those who disappoint me were in my life for a reason, and I learned a lesson regardless. So definitely appreciate the people that are in your life, even if only temporary.
Well said. Well said, Tina.
Yeah, nicely done, Tina.
And thanks for I'm gonna just put it out there that we're in her circle.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
We're in her very limited circle.
Her limited circle that haven't disappointed her yet.
Yeah. If she's
still
Don't count me out yet.
If you're listening, Tina, and I know you are, because you and my sister hit me up all the time. Like, I can't believe you talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
I'm glad they hit you up and not me, because I'd be like, oops.
You are up to date.
It's funny, man. Like I'll give people a hard time because like I'll say something about them on here or whatever, and I'll be like, oh no, they're not listening. It's been 2 or 3 episodes, and they'll be like, I am caught up, you motherfucker. I just wasn't gonna give you a hard time about that.
Yeah. Hoppy hit me up. He's like, yeah, were you guys talking shit about me? And
like
I was
6 months ago.
Yeah. What episode you're on? He showed me. I was like, dude, come on. Yeah. He's like, my commute to work's 15 minutes.
So get some AirPods, man.
Yeah, get AirPods. Put us on YouTube while you're sitting at your desk.
Yeah, while you're hanging out, doing nothing.
Yeah, while you're consulting.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're a consultant. Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off, Hobby. You can listen to us at your desk. The Scissor Sisters do.
I know.
And they work in a place where we're probably not anybody's favorite fucking people, and they're motherfucking everybody.
My sister doesn't care, too.
Yeah.
She's like, this is my brother's podcast, and this is buddy Jerett. You all can fucking listen to it. And I'm like, all right, fuck, just don't hit me.
Yeah, and put the phone book down.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
Oh, man, me and Jack are married.
We share the same brain cell a lot of times.
A lot of the times, man. We spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, we do.
So, so shout out to Tina and Common Shit Podcast.
Yes.
And everybody, all of our day ones, all of our new listeners, everybody who told their friends about us and now their friends are here.
Yeah.
Welcome to it, man. And we appreciate you guys coming out and listening to us. And if you could do us a favor and like and subscribe to our YouTube,
please, so
we can stop spending our own money on this fucking budget that's never ending.
Yeah.
I was talking to Joey the other day, and I'm like, I bought us a special bottle for our 100 episode.
Nice.
And, I told Joey how much I paid for it, and it wasn't cheap. And he goes, dude, stop. Let me buy these, let me sponsor you with this shit. If you want something, let me fucking, and I'm like, I just can't do it, man. I love Joey to death, man, and I appreciate that he wants to do that. But at the same time, man, like, I can't. It's not in me.
It feels weird to ask somebody like that. Yeah. And we've known Joey for a short amount of time, but we've become close friends. He's a great guy, great proponent of the show.
Yes.
We love him, and I would feel equally as awkward if he was like, "Yeah, dude, we'll just let me know." It's like, that's nice, but I bought it anyway.
Like,
sorry.
But if he was like, "Hey, I got this extra bottle," I'd be like, damn, I appreciate it. I fucking twist my arm, you know.
So if you're listening, Joey,
just buy 2 next time
on your 15-minute commute, also.
yeah, exactly. Just put this on inside the fucking bar, man. Everybody listen to it.
Yeah, put it on the jukebox.
Yeah, there you go. I'll fucking come in and set that shit. I got Shattered Wisdom on this thing.
18 hours of Shattered Wisdom. Like, fuck.
Well, you guys will catch up.
Yeah, there you go.
We're almost to 100.
We are almost to it. That's insane.
That's fucking wild.
That is really... Does that include the FAFOs?
No.
Oh.
If we included those, we're over.
Dang.
Because JJ doesn't number those like she does. They're their own separate segment, so those get numbered.
Okay.
So if you looked at all the episodes that we've put out, we're probably over 100. But as far as our numbered episodes, we've still got a couple.
Yeah.
So what should we talk about today, Jack?
Today we're going to talk about jobs that sound cool,
but are shit. So,
and we're not experts on this.
No, we obviously only have one job each.
Yes.
And I can tell you that, working at McDonald's doesn't sound like a great job, so we're not going to touch on fucking working at McDonald's.
No.
So we're going to talk about things from the outside looking in, right? And from our perspective of the things that you deal with, because there was that show a while back called Dirty Jobs.
Oh yeah, with Mike Rowe.
Yeah,
I love that show.
And he showed all the shittiest fucking jobs, but they paid really well.
Yes.
It's like, hey, you fucking clean out septic tanks, but it pays you $1,000 an hour or whatever. It's something fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why these people do these jobs. But those jobs don't sound great. Those jobs sound like shit because they are shit. They just pay really well.
Yeah, and socially, you don't want to be like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I clean septic tanks. You're like, oh, because everybody's going to be like, oh, you're like a shit sucker.
I'm gonna wash my fucking hands again.
You're like, yeah, but I pulled up in a fucking G-Wagon.
Yeah.
So who's this shit sucker now?
Yeah. I'm debt-free, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So first things first, man, we got police and prison guards.
Yes.
So we know people from both.
Yes.
We have family in both.
Yep.
So as a kid, you play cops and robbers, you do all these things, and you think that that's the greatest lifestyle on the planet, right? You know, as a kid, and then you realize that people fucking hate you. People who are breaking the law, people who are fucking doing things wrong, hate you because you're holding them accountable.
Right, and it's a thankless profession.
It is absolutely a thankless profession.
Yeah.
So I always say this all the time. Like, the person at Starbucks wants me to tip them for making my coffee, but nobody tipped me for being in the military. Nobody's tipping you for being a superintendent. Nobody's tipping the fucking police. It's not coming.
Yeah. Oh no.
Like, hey, thanks for your service. Well, like, how much? Like how much do you have in your pocket? You know, like, you just tip me, 20% of my 8 years. I'll take a hefty fucking tip.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But it's one of those things, man, that being so let's talk about police officers, right? So they are always viewed by the bad guys as the bad guy.
Yep. And
they teach their kids coming up, don't trust the police, don't talk to the police. There's whole communities who won't talk to the police to solve crimes.
Yep.
So, and we have this whole stigma of snitches get stitches, but then you look at all of your favorite gangsters and they're telling on everybody.
Yeah, because we glorify them.
Yes.
Right? We glorify, we idolize all these gangsters, the anti-heroes, and the fucking... And everybody's like, that's so badass. They're actually really terrible people. They're doing some pretty bad shit. Everybody, you love mafia shit.
Yeah, those all mafia terrible guys, people.
They killed so many people. Yeah. They tortured so many people. Concrete shoes. Let's talk about that just for a second. Can you imagine? So you're conscious.
Yeah.
They are making you concrete shoes.
Yeah.
You're sitting there waiting for the concrete to dry around your feet.
Yeah.
Knowing you're going to drown.
Yeah.
In a couple of hours.
Which is one of the worst ways to go.
And they're just... This is their day-to-day. This is me going to work and running a job site. This is you going to a sales meeting. This is them throwing a guy off a bridge with concrete shoes.
Yeah.
And we idolize that shit. Like, oh, that's fucking badass. Yeah. So you're sitting there with your fucking concrete Reeboks on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did I get here? You fucked around. All right, so when mafia guys killed mafia guys, things like that, they say, like, you're in the life. You know what you're in for. Like, and I'm sure that, bloodshed spills over it, and I wasn't alive back then, and I can only imagine. But, like, I have John Dillinger, and I know that John Dillinger broke out of prison and killed cops and did all kinds of things. These are not good people, but they're very glorified in the world that we live in, and people look up to them.
Yeah, nobody glorifies cops. It's like on my job sites, right? The inspectors. Yeah. Inspectors and safety guys. Very vital role.
Yeah. Saving your fucking life.
Saving your life and making sure you're doing things right. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
They get shit on so much. It's another thankless profession because they go, like you said, you have to follow the rules.
Yeah. Hey, I've got it. It's here. And they can't make up rules.
No.
It's all written down. Yeah, it's already here. You know it.
Yeah, they're not making new ones. It's just like, these are the 6 things you have to do and you'll be okay. And people are like, oh.
Yeah. Do I have to? Does the grade really matter? Yes, it fucking matters.
Do I have to do 70 and a 70?
Yeah.
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 I can't just shoot my neighbor because I'm mad at him? No.
No, that's not allowed.
It's not allowed. You can't do that shit.
But I say to everybody, too, like, if your job is to break the law and theirs is to enforce it, you can't get mad when you get caught. You're playing the game. Right. Yep. You're in the game.
You're each doing your job.
And you know that, hey, this could happen, and you still say, fuck it.
Yep.
That's on you.
You chose to live that life.
Yeah. If you are uninformed hunting and you break a law that you don't know about, it's still your fault. Because they say, you should have fucking informed yourself.
Yeah, you should have read. If you wanted to get into it, you should have read the rules and regulations for the area where you're going. You didn't know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to jail.
Yeah. Well, and there's honest mistakes, right? That I got a cousin who's in law enforcement, and he said, look, dude, not everybody is a good guy. Like there's pieces of shit, I'm going to paraphrase, in every profession.
Sure.
He's like, there's a lot of good cops out there. I have a lot of good friends who are really good people. And he said, and then you meet people that you're like, ooh, this guy's in it for the power and the fucking... So you have to differentiate, but not everybody's that guy.
No.
You might have got a bad rap from one cop, and that sucks.
Yep.
And maybe that guy was having a bad day. He's a person too. Maybe he just fucking left a homicide. Like, you don't know. You don't know what these guys are dealing with.
So that's one thing. It's funny you bring that up. I've had two very different stories from police friends about some of the worst parts of their day. One of them said, I've arrested the same people multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, dude, for sure.
And he said, I roll up and I know them by name now. They know me by name.
Yeah. What's up, Bob?
Bob, and he said it's so frustrating because it's like, dude.
Yeah.
First of all, my job is to enforce the law. Once I arrest somebody and put them in the judicial system, it is now the judicial system's job to take over from there, right? Prison's a deterrent. Laws are a deterrent.
Yes.
It's supposed to reform you and stop you from doing this stuff. And he goes, now I'm arresting these same people. And he goes, I've arrested somebody one day, on Monday, and Wednesday I arrest them again.
Yeah.
And I walk up to him and they're like, fuck, dude, what's going on, Bob? He's like, really, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this again?
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is the cops see the nastiest, goriest, most terrible things. A friend of mine, I won't say his name or anything, he found a teenager that had hung himself in his garage. He was first on scene. The family called, and he comes and he goes, there's this child, like a 13-year-old, hanging from the rafters in the garage, very dead.
Yeah.
And he said, it just destroyed me.
I cannot even imagine.
And people come up on scenes where people have been shot and stabbed. Carlos, our buddy that we had on a long time ago, he told us that story. They rolled up, and this guy was beating his mother's head in with a baseball bat. And he goes, we looked through the window and saw him hit her with the bat. There's blood everywhere. I mean, these guys are seeing shit that you see in horror movies in real life, and that's fucking Tuesday.
And this is daily for some of these guys.
Yes, depending upon where you live.
Yeah, I mean, like, and where you work. We have a friend who's LAPD, and she's like 16-year-old fucking kids gangbanging, getting shot, and fucking, it's terrible.
Yeah, and they see that
every day.
Day in and day out. And it affects you. There's police officers get a lot of psychiatric evaluations and things like that.
Yes.
And there's always counseling provided. If you are in a situation where you discharge your firearm, if you shoot somebody, if there's OF officer involved, OIS officer involved shooting, there's mandatory time off, there's mandatory counseling, there's all that kind of stuff. But these people see people die.
Oh, I would imagine all of the time.
Another friend of mine, Brian, was a traffic accident reconstruction specialist.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've seen a lot of stuff, a lot of drunk driving accidents, and I go out there and survey the scene, and it's undisturbed. So this dude, half in a windshield, full of glass, bled out, guts hanging out. He's told us some horror stories. I'm like, you got PTSD for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is that you don't have to go to war to get PTSD.
Oh, fuck no.
You see fucked up things in your life and they affect you. They stay with you. And I'm sure as a parent, when you roll up to scenes and there's kids, I'm sure that it fucks with your day.
I could never be a cop because there would be a pedophile and I would go to jail because I shot him in the face.
Yeah. So and then we have prison guard friends who, same thing, man. Like, those dudes are in there plotting how to hurt you.
They've got all the time in the world to hate and how to execute that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and so I know that some of the prison gangs, they don't fuck with cops because it blows up the spot, right? You get put on lockdown, you lose all your privileges, blah, blah, blah. They have it in their guidelines. But other criminal organizations have it in their guidelines that if you get an opportunity, you have to take it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the pay in these things is not the best. You're not getting paid millions of dollars. None of these guys are fucking, going to work one day a week. No, you're working overtime. You're working 5, 6s. You're really out there fucking busting your ass and grinding and getting just disrespected everywhere you go.
Well, and it's you against.
Yeah.
You are wholly outnumbered.
Yeah, especially rolling up to a scene or a conflict or something that you have very limited knowledge about.
Yeah.
And you're having to get out and assess a situation. And then some asshole's behind you recording and saying that you're fucking this and that and you came in doing this. And they always show you the half of the fucking cell phone video that makes everybody look guilty.
Yep.
Except for the guilty party.
Yeah.
It's not until months later when the body cam footage comes out that you actually get their point of view. But realistically, we shouldn't look at every person as a terrible person because they found themselves in a situation. We should give them the benefit of the doubt, because I'll tell you what, man, if me, Jerett, roll up to a scene and somebody has a fucking gun pointed at me, I'm going to shoot him too. Like, I'm going home to my family, and I might go to jail and the cop might get off with it, but that's his job. We put that responsibility on them. We give them that authority to make those fucking decisions, and they're hard fucking decisions. We do the same thing with the kids over in Iraq. Hey, if they're shooting you, shoot them back.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I could go on and on about this, but it sounded like a great career opportunity young. And they have great retirement benefits, and they have, but you have to get there.
Well, but that's the other thing, too, is the average age, the lifespan for a police officer after they retire is like 5 years after they retire.
Yeah.
And it's because the peaks and valleys, right? The adrenaline spikes, and they're doing this, and they're up and down, and they're used to all this stuff, and there's such an exposure to this like ultra violence and this stuff that they're inundated with, that a lot of them, when they go, man, I'm done, I'm out, I just want to relax and spend time with my family, and they really try to slow down, and their health declines rapidly. My friend, one of my friends that's a police officer, he is like terrified of that.
Oh yeah, oh dude, I bet.
And I go, dude, start coming up with hobbies.
Yeah, you got to go do something else.
Get another hobby. Get yourself really involved in a hobby, so when you leave the police force, you can do the hobby full time. Fucking woodworking, carve ducks, paint. I don't fucking know. Run.
Well, our prison guard buddy down the street is going to do like tactical firearms training.
Yeah.
So that'll be a thing. Lead farmer.
Lead farmer.
Lead farmer.
Lead farmer gunfighting.
Lead. Yeah, what Jack said.
We'll have to get him on here.
Yeah, so he'll come promote himself, but he's going to do that because he's looking at retirement. And he's like, what else am I going to do? He's in great shape. I mean, he's been doing this shit for a long time since he was a baby. Fucking 18, 19, and now he's looking at retirement, and same thing for him, dude. He's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
can't stop.
No,
you just can't.
No, but on the same lines as like firefighters and EMTs.
Mm-hmm.
It looks badass.
Being a firefighter sounds like the dopest job on the planet.
They're running, and Orion was here talking about aerial firefighting. That sounded badass, but like run into a building, you see the fucking firefighter that runs in and the fire and saves the kid, and he's the hero and everyone loves him. And realistically, a lot of times you're going to scenes where now they require you to be a firefighter medic.
Yes.
So you go with a paramedic team and you're rolling in on people that have OD'd.
Yeah.
And people that are dying and stuff like that. But then also, if you're fighting a fire, you can see your friends die. Those firefighters from 9/11.
Oh, dude, whole firehouses were lost.
Dude, wiped them all out. Yeah. Then the other consequences after that of the cancer and all the stuff that came from breathing all the particulates.
Yeah.
So the hero portion of it, I think that's what people look at with like cops, military, firefighter, EMT, is there's this hero aspect.
Right.
But there's such a sacrifice from a mental health standpoint on the other side.
Yeah. Well, and so now that they're running all these emergency codes too, these guys that are doing 24, 48-hour shifts, they're not sleeping.
Oh, no.
Like, you're getting alerts. You're getting the same call the cops are, and you got to fucking roll as fast as they do. And, I mean, even if it's an OD, if it's, like, anything. Like, when Hunter had croup, we called 911, they sent a fire truck.
Yep.
They're like, fire medics are on their way. Not like, we're going to send EMTs, we're going to send the cops. No, they send the fucking fire guys. And I told them, like, look, dude, like, I understand that you guys probably get this all the time, but, like, if I knew what it was, I would have handled it differently,
Sure.
But not knowing, like, I don't feel bad that I interrupted your fucking night.
No, but the neighbor across from me has had somebody in their home, we don't know him very well, that has health issues. Mm-hmm. And the fire department and an ambulance have been there several times, but we live in a small, tight cul-de-sac with 11 houses on it. It's a full-on fire truck and ambulance that roll out there anytime there's an issue.
There's no good place to turn around.
There's not. I don't. They can pull my driveway. That's fine. I don't care. But still, in my mind, I'm like, why are we rolling a fire truck?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, there's that romanticized version of the jobs where it's the hero. You're not saving cats out of trees anymore like in the 50s. But you see all these videos, and then it's a huge shout out to all of our first responders, our military, everybody that does it. God love you for wanting to take that profession on and doing that. But man, there's a rough side of it that I don't think a lot of people see that would be interesting to hear about. Like, we've had cops on the show.
We need to get a firefighter.
On here. I don't know if we know one that fights fire. Orion does it from the sky. We got to find.
I know a couple of guys. We'll see if I can get them on.
Out here, yeah.
But excuse me. Those guys. Like you said, it's a thankless profession, and we appreciate you guys. And that's not to say that we don't speed or do stupid shit from time to time. Like, I by no means am the perfect citizen, but I understand that if I get fucking caught, that is what it is.
If I get pulled over by a cop, I'm always honest.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, dude.
They're like, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, because I was doing 85 and 70.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? I'm like, because that's how I drive.
Yeah.
Or I'm in a hurry, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them the truth. And sometimes they're like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what? You shouldn't do that. I'm like, you're right, sir.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
And they'll go, but I'm going to give you a ticket anyway. And I'll go, okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
I get it, dude. You got to do your job. I'm like, I was being an asshole and I shouldn't have done that. So I deserve it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, I'm glad that you were actually honest. Can you just slow down? Mm-hmm. And I'll go, you know what? You're right, officer. I'm sorry. I'll plan ahead a little bit better next time.
So, I saw a thing the other day that the Pacific Palisades fire is being fought by a couple of guys from corrections, like prisoners.
Oh, there is. So in high school, my friend's dad actually ran the convict fire camp.
Really?
And he had female convicts that were firefighters. And he said that being a convict firefighter in the prison system, that is like royalty.
Really?
Like if you get on as a convict firefighter, like that's big shit. It's really hard to do, and when you get on that, you don't. They were the model prisoners. They want to stay on that fire crew. It gives them a sense of purpose. And he goes, we put them out there. They're working just as hard as everyone out there.
They're in the thick of it.
But they take a lot of pride in it. It gives them a great sense of, and he goes, a lot of them, that really is one thing that helps kind of reform a lot of people. Is you now have this job, and that's the big shit. And they get paid nothing. It's like,
they're out there for free.
It's like $2 a day, or it's 12 cents an hour. I mean, it's atrocious pay, but they're out there doing it. And he goes, it really, people that get on that crew, they won't fuck with anybody else. Don't give me no drugs. Don't try anything with me. Don't nothing. I'm not going to fight you. You want to beat me up? I'm going to lay right here and you can kick the shit out of me because I want to stay on this crew.
Yeah.
I want to stay on this job.
Yeah. So good for them for getting that program and for everybody listening, man. Not everybody who goes to prison is the worst people on the planet, man. No. Some people, make mistakes and learn from them and they, when they get out, they need a helping hand and an opportunity, man. And if they can get into, firefighting and that gives them a fucking foot in the door, then good on them, man. And those dudes are out there trying to protect your shit. So let's run it, man. Good for them.
At the end of the day, does it really matter?
No. If your shit's burning down, do you care who's running into the fucking house fire?
No,
do you really care?
I'll get my fucking garden hose out and try to help out.
Yeah. But no, dude, if you're here to help, you're here to help. Those guys aren't looting. Those weren't the looters. Those guys weren't breaking into houses and stealing shit. No, they were really there to put out the fires.
Yeah.
So good on them, man. And if you got a family member or know somebody, tell them that we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then EMTs too, man. All the dead bodies.
Oh, so many dead bodies.
I wouldn't want to be an EMT in Vegas because Vegas is the suicide capital of the planet, but you would never guess because they don't publicize it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it for the aspect now that I have children.
Oh, yeah. Same, dude. You fucking child abuse cases and shit. You pick up a fucking kid that's been beat to death. There's no way.
Or a kid that's been raped or something. Yeah. Being the father of 2 daughters, if there's someone, dude. And I've seen some of the videos when it's like a mom and their infant has aspirated something. They're choking on something, and a cop does CPR and gets the thing out and brings them back to life, and I could cry talking to you about it right now. I would come home from work and I would fucking cry every night. It would bother me too much.
Yeah, and realistically, when you think about it like that, who wants to be sad to go to work? What am I gonna have to encounter today?
Well, and you get into it, I think, is all these professions we're talking about, you get into it to help people. Firefighters, police officers, EMTs, military, you do it to help people, to defend people, to stand up for people, especially with EMTs. You're the immediate first line fence.
Yeah, and they're looking to you for every answer. You're the superhero now. You have all the answers, right? No, not all the time. Not everybody knows everything. Even with doctors, right? We say they practice medicine.
Yep.
And there's cops who don't know every letter of the law. They learn as they go too. And same thing, firefighters, finding a better way to put out a fire, to fight a fire. There's always a learning curve for every profession.
Well, and it's funny. A lot of the things that we talked about, these jobs we talked about, I would think the worst part of this job of doctor, EMT, firefighter, police officer, military, is if you have to go to somebody and tell them your partner didn't make it.
Yeah, your loved one is gone.
Your child didn't make it.
Yeah.
And you have to be as calm as you and I are talking to each other now.
Yeah.
You got to try to be strong. But if I picked up a 9-year-old blonde-haired little girl that looked like my daughter that had passed away, that I'd tried to work on and couldn't revive her, and had to tell somebody that your kid didn't make it, I would go home and fucking cry myself to sleep.
Yeah.
How are you not a raging drug addict, alcoholic? How do you process that? And there's some people are really good about, they can process that.
Right.
That trauma. It doesn't bother them. It's work.
Right.
It's like us. We come home and I go, these fucking people this, and my job, my commute sucked, and this guy fucking said that, and I don't care about that, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, man, we came home, we came up on a car scene, and there was fucking 2 people who were dead already, and we pulled the other ones out and bandaged them up, and one died on the way to the hospital, and they can just internalize that and process it.
Well, and there's some people who don't talk to their spouses about their day at work.
It would be too traumatizing.
Yes. That's I've heard of it, and sometimes it's for the better, that's what your crew is for. And that's why these firefighters have such tight bonds, man.
Yeah.
And the military too. We'll get into the military, but you get these tight bonds because you go through shit together that not everybody sees. Like, I don't want to roll up to a fucking car accident and see people cut in half, you know, and that's your first call. Like, that's your call, right? You're close. You got to go fucking report to it. You got to go see if anybody's alive. You got to see if you can fucking perform CPR, you know, like, fuck, man. Like, it's the from the outside looking in, the bads do not outweigh the goods, man. Like, no. It sounds terrible.
Well, you bring up a good point, though, too, is the shared catharsis, right? Mm-hmm. You and I talk about a lot of stuff that we're not going to talk to our wives about.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And we can talk about things we've seen and things we've been through that we would understand and be able to relate to, where I would think a lot of the things, like talking to Kendra about some of the stuff that I've gone through and seen and all that, she would be, one, so concerned.
Right.
About, like, I can't believe you work in that.
Yeah.
But two, Boba the freaking
the podcast cat saying hello.
But two, they have their own lives that are stressful and all that. I don't know. Yeah. I don't need to burden you with that when I have somebody else that I can talk to.
Yeah.
That lives this. Mm-hmm. So I'm not burdening them. It's the shared catharsis.
Yeah.
I talk to them, they talk to me. We cancel out where I'm not adding another emotional burden onto my spouse.
Right. And I think that's why I like a lot of law enforcement, friends with a lot of law enforcement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your confidant, right? That's your go-to. That's the person that you can fucking confide in and tell you that you've had a tough time with this, because they've more than likely dealt with something the same.
Well, yeah, this really affected me, and I didn't like the way this happened. Like, dude, I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
I've done that, and here's how I dealt with it.
Right.
Here's how I made it okay with myself.
Yes.
And they can give you that expert advice, if you will.
So next we have doctors, which every show that I've ever watched on TV about medical, the doctors are always the cool fucking guy or the cool girl, and they're making all this money and driving around their sports car, and there's a terrible side to being a doctor. Like,
I would think this would be one of the more difficult ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, even if your success rate, let's say you're a neurologist, is that who works on brains, JJ?
Yep, neurologist.
And you're poking around somebody's brain, right? And you're doing everything right, but shit happens. You get a twitch, you get a fucking swelling of the brain. Like, anything can happen when you're in somebody's fucking brain and fuck them for life. They might not die, but they might be forever a vegetable or just fucking there but not there, you know? And you're playing in their fucking brain like that. In heart surgery too. Yep. Like, guys, I can't imagine how many doctors who put people on bypass lose the patients that they have on bypass.
Well, but can you imagine being a doctor and somebody comes in and goes, man, I don't feel good. I've been having headaches for 2 months. Mm-hmm. And you have to tell them they have a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And all you've done is you are the person that facilitates the tests.
Right.
You figure out what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to deliver that bad news.
Well,
you can't run the test and be like, okay, now you go tell JJ she's got breast cancer.
Yeah.
Nope. You just got to be like, hey.
I got to
And I remember when my father-in-law got diagnosed with cancer. Mm-hmm. And then they hit him with, you got 2 years.
Yeah.
And could you imagine? I could not imagine somebody telling somebody who I don't really know too incredibly well.
Right.
Like, hey, man. You got 6 months to live.
Yeah.
And you have to do it in this, like we talked about, like EMTs and all the same calm demeanor and whatever reaction they have. You just have to kind of bear the brunt of it.
Yeah. And it's not your fault. You're just the messenger.
You're the bearer of bad news.
Like, hey, I didn't do this to your person.
Yeah, I didn't give you cancer.
Yeah. You know, but what about misdiagnosis?
Oh, yeah, and the malpractice things things. That's just kind of the sad state of society now.
Everybody's
so happy.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for you to fuck something up.
Oh, no, they fucking pray for it.
And they do, and they're like, oh, I'm going to own your ass.
Yeah.
I'm going to get $1 million out of this.
Yeah.
You know, and that you like you said earlier, you could have been top of your class, best fucking neurologist in the world, and you have one off day or something happens.
Yeah.
There was another underlying condition that you didn't see.
Something you didn't see on a scan.
Somebody passes away, and then now you're like, fuck. And then they're coming after you. Well, we're going to fucking sue you.
Well, and here's the thing, too, is how... I don't know how people... have you ever seen, like, an ultrasound of, like, an organ?
Oh, dude.
I don't know how the fuck you tell what's wrong with that thing. It looks like a blob on the screen.
Both my daughters, we went in for their ultrasounds to determine the sex, and they're scanning all over, and I'm like, this is the weirdest Rorschach test I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, this doesn't make sense.
What? They're like, oh, there's the this and the that. I'm like, dude, this is a Jackson Pollock. This is a splatter painting. Yeah. I don't know what. Oh, this is a that, and there's the feet, and I'm like, can you slow down? Can you go back? I don't fucking know. It's like watching scrambled porn from the 90s on the Skinamax channel. I can't see shit.
Yeah. So and if you're and these guys study scans, right? Mm-hmm. And scans are going to tell you so much.
Right.
But here's my thing with our healthcare system. If you go in complaining of a headache, they're going to tell you take Tylenol and come back. Mm-hmm. Then you come back. Then they're going to say, okay, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Where if we had, and I don't think that this is a good idea, so don't think that I'm saying it this way, but if we had free universal health care, where they could run all the tests and not have to worry about how much it's going to cost and how much you have to pay and blah, 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 blah. If you go in and you say, hey, I've had a fucking migraine for a month, and they're like, well, let's do a fucking MRI. Let's do all of the things because we'd rather know what's wrong with you and clear out all those fucking boxes than say, why would we spend so much money to run these tests when it could just be a simple headache?
Sure. So they start least invasive to most invasive,
right?
And try to do that. But again, when I broke my shoulder blade and collarbone, Kendra and I were in the hospital, and this kid walked in, and he looked totally healthy, and I'm laying there, broken, bleeding, drugged up at that point, and this kid walked in and laid down on a bed, and they were sitting there. His mom or his aunt was sitting there petting his head, and Kendra and I immediately went, "That's dire." And he had a blood clot in the side of his head.
Oh, shit.
And they ended up flying him down to San Diego to a specialist. The guy drilled a hole in the side of his head, and they got the blood clot out, and it saved his life. But he would have had a brain aneurysm, and he would have died. He was like 20-something years old.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I've had a headache for a month.
Yeah.
And by the time he came in, they were like, oh, shit.
Right.
Like, airlifted him down here.
Yeah, now we have an emergency.
Helicopter surgery. Mm-hmm. Then we recover.
Yeah.
So... But regardless, I think that you have all of these jobs. Funny we talked about. You have the highest of highs.
Right.
You saved that guy's life.
Yeah, you're a hero.
You found the tumor. Yeah. You got it out. He's gonna live. He's gonna see his daughters graduate. He's gonna walk him down the aisle. You patched that person up that had a bunch of bullet wounds. You did CPR and brought a kid back to life. You did all this. You have the highest of highs, and then you lose somebody.
Right.
And there's an old saying of one aw shucks kills 1,000 attaboys.
Yes.
And so to your point, you're top of your class, you're doing all this, and then somebody dies in your care, and you're like, fuck.
And I will even go as far as to say that the profession of nursing is probably just as fucking difficult as being a doctor.
You have to deal with the aftermath.
You have to deal with all of it. Like you're the person. So nurses get a lot of shit, man, and I feel bad. I've been in the hospital a couple of times, and you get people who are not happy to be there, people who are homeless and fucking nasty and mean, and they're yelling at these fucking nurses like. This is her job, bro. Like she's here for her 12 or whatever, and she's gonna go home. Like,
well, and then you get people that are like, I need this, I need that, I need this, and you get those nurses that come to people like, my nurse was a bitch. I'm like, why?
Yes.
Did you hit the call button every 5 minutes?
I've never had a bad nurse.
No,
I've not once ever had a bad nurse.
But I'm not one to complain.
Yeah, no, I tell them that too, and it's so funny when I had my gallbladder removed. She came in a little late, she got caught up with somebody, same thing, somebody screaming and shit. And she's like, why didn't you push your call button? And I said, I don't want to be a bother. And she's like, you're clearly in fucking pain. Yeah. Like, hit the button. And I'm like, I know that you're coming. I know that you're not forgetting me on purpose. You have things to do. And I'm not going to fucking be that person who's like, hey, you're 5 minutes late for giving me my fucking pain meds. No, I can suck it up for a little bit. And if it's 2 hours later, then I'm hitting my fucking button. But a couple of minutes, I understand that you're busy. And I understand that on nights, it's probably just as bad as it is during the day, because your people who sleep all day are up all night and they want something. And me, I'll sleep fucking 20 hours a day in the fucking hospital. I don't give a shit. Like, unless I'm waking up in pain, I'm asleep. So,
but also, I couldn't do any of these jobs.
Oh no, God no.
Because I'd come in and somebody I'd be like, sir, you call me every 5 minutes. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, we're gonna unplug your button here, sir.
Unless you are bleeding out or spontaneously combust, I'm not fucking coming back.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and a side note that we don't have up here, but property management, man, like. Kendra gets yelled at all the time by people who think that they have a right to talk to them like that.
So Kendra's going to come on. We want to do a property management thing with her so she can clear the air. They are a pass-through. So if you live in an HOA...
yes, they're a pass-through.
The property manager, they are just a pass-through. They are customer service. And she tells us all the time, I go, babe, you have the worst portion of customer service, because this is people's homes. They're entitled. They think all this stuff, and you are the bad guy.
And the more money they make, the more entitled they feel.
Yeah, and she goes, dude, we work at the direction of your homeowner association board.
Yes.
The other people that live in your community that you nominated, that you voted for,
these motherfuckers.
Your neighbor. Go knock on his door.
Yeah, go tell Bob to go fuck himself.
I sent this notice because Bob said you didn't bring your fucking trash cans in time.
Yes.
Ain't my job, dude.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not driving your neighborhood.
Nope.
Your neighbors are complaining about you.
I'm just passing the... This is what they said.
Yeah.
This is you. Again, messenger. We talk about killing the messenger.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah. All right, what else we got? Lawyers.
Skip lawyers. Fuck them. We don't have too much of that. But hunting guide.
Ooh, so I feel bad for Neil every time that there's no pigs in the immediate vicinity, because he feels bad.
Yeah.
And I, knowing what I know now, animals aren't just fucking like, hey, shoot me. like no, you got to go search for him, and sometimes you get fucking skunked. It is we have a good guide. Neil is a great guide, and if you get nothing, you come back for nothing.
Yep.
Neil is a great guide. But when you hire a guide, you put a lot on that, right? Because you're paying a lot of money.
Faith on that, yeah.
Yeah. So you expect that I have a guide, I'm going to go kill something. It's not always the fucking case.
Yeah, but like Neil and Sam are athletes. I started training to keep up with the hunting guides.
Yeah. Oh,
we laugh and joke about like me going to Orange Theory. I think about hunting when I'm in Orange Theory. Yeah,
well, and those guys will walk forever.
They will. And so but you got to think as a hunting guide, okay, number one, this person that I'm taking out, if I don't know him, now Neil and Sam know us,
right? Know
our abilities, know what we can do. They know us as we're down.
Right.
Neil especially is like, Jack and Jerett are coming. They're down.
It's easy case. He knows he's going to have a good time, and we're not going to pressure him.
Yeah.
And that's we are repeat customers.
Sure.
And if he wasn't a good dude, we probably wouldn't.
Yeah, but we know the process. He knows between 0 and 400 yards, we're killing something.
Yeah, 100%.
No problem. But we know the game plan. We know how it's going to work. We know all this kind of stuff. But if you're a new person, he's going to go, your rifle's sighted in, right? And you'll see a lot of these guides. If you really look at a guide contract, there's a lot of stipulations in there, and they have this thing of your rifle is sighted in. You are aware of the hunt you're going to go on and the physical requirements of said hunt. You have your hunter safety card. You've gotten your license. You've done this. You do blah 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 blah, and they bake that all in the contract. When you get a real expensive hunt, all that's in there, and they'll sit there and go, by the way, I owe you an opportunity.
That's it.
And if you shoot and miss, technically per our contract,
yeah,
my side is satiated. If it's a 7-day hunt and on day 1 you shoot at an animal and miss, yeah, we're gonna hunt for 6 more days because whatever.
Well, because you have me for that long, right? Like so your initial fee is for 7 days.
Yeah, it's for whatever the life of the season is.
Okay.
But Neil has told us, he goes, I blacklisted people.
Oh, yeah.
They'll never come hunt with me again. And that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because you're walking around with a loaded firearm.
Oh, dude.
At least. And now I carry a pistol every time I hunt with Neil and a rifle. I have 2 loaded firearms. You have a gun. He has a gun.
Yeah.
Like we're fucking.
We are strapped in this little fucking side by
ready.
side. We're all guns in a side by side.
And with his gun, we're 0 to 700 yards.
Easy. All day.
Everything is dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the things. But you have a firearm that you are in control of. Mm-hmm. I am just here to get you to the point where you can use that firearm on an animal.
Right.
But you are in control of it. And I have the faith that, okay, now it's your turn, Jerett.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to this point. Can you do it?
Right. And we have a good relationship with Neil, and I'll tell Neil, like, I'm not walking in there.
Yeah.
And that could be a stipulation, right? Like, hey, if you'd have walked in there, you could have got something. That's on you. I've gotten to the point where I can joke with Neil and say, like, if it ain't on the road, I ain't shooting it,
Yeah.
But, like, a new guide for a big game thing, if we really go do that, and my physical abilities do not allow me to do the physical track, in to get the animal, that's not on the guide.
Yeah. And a lot of guides, you got to think, too, these guys are out there by themselves.
Yeah.
I can never sit and watch somebody work if I know how to help them.
Right.
And I know how.
We got this process down pretty good. Yeah.
We show back up at his house. I put the skinning rack together. I just know.
Yeah.
We don't. It's like working with you.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask questions. I know what's happening next. We put the thing, and I am happy to do that. But technically, for a lot of these guides, contracts,
yeah,
they skin, quarter, and get the animal to the processor. So technically, like, we've gone elk hunting in New Mexico. My dad and I have been successful twice with the same guide. I will never go back because they were absolutely trash the last time. But we shoot that animal, I could be like, all right, I'm walking back down the hill.
Bye. I'll meet you back at the lodge.
Get it to the processor.
Yeah.
An elk is 800 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't have to fucking help you with nothing. Get it there. Bye.
Yeah.
I paid you to do this.
Yeah, that's what the money's for. And you're not going to refund me anything if I help you.
Yeah.
It's just a nice gesture.
Yeah, and you're not going to refund me anything if I shot that thing and missed.
Right.
So now you do your job.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a tremendous amount of work, and a lot of times I love most of the hunting guys I've been out with. I've had a fucking great time. I like all of them. But I'm down to help.
Yeah.
And I go, dude, I'll carry shit out, and I'll tell them. They're like, okay, we do this. I go, cool. If we shoot something, I'll help you carry it out.
Yeah.
I'll do this. I'll do that. We'll do this, Y, and Z. But then
to us, it's part of the experience.
Yeah.
To money bags, it's like, hey, I shot that fucking 78-point buck, and that's all I wanted to do. Now I'll be at the lodge kicking my feet up having a whiskey.
But the main reason why it's part of your and my experience is because you and I do a lot of hunts where there's no
guide. It's us. We're the guides.
We're the guide. We shot a bunch of deer on the farm.
Yeah.
You've gone out to Montana and shot deer, and it's like, cool, good shot.
Yeah, go get it.
Go get it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm looking around like, can you guys help me with this?
Yeah.
Like you go with a group of people because you're all going to help each other.
Right.
And Bradley shot something fucking 6 miles in. Fuck you, Brad.
Fuck you, Brad.
He shot something like, oh my God, it was so far in. And he's like, do you love me? I'm like, no, I don't even like you right now. He's like, I need your help. And he shot a fucking monster. And it was way in, up some hills and down some hills. And I told him, I'm here to help. I'll help you. But I'm going to complain about this the whole fucking time.
And they deal with a lot of clients that don't necessarily understand the process.
Right.
And I know we bring up hunting guide because we've lived this experience. Mm-hmm. And they get a lot of ungrateful people. And they got a lot of people that same thing, like, you're paying somebody for a service. Mm-hmm. And I pay somebody for a service, I'm going to do everything I can to make that better.
Right.
If I'm at a restaurant, the other day we were at a little sushi place by our house. Waiter comes up, they are running around like maniacs.
Yeah.
There's like 2 waiters, they're running around. Anytime he came up, I'm like, hey, by the way, can we get this? Yep, okay, cool, can we get this? And it was very calm and very everything because I'm seeing he's stressed out and he's running around.
Right.
I'm paying him for his service. Same thing with a hunting guide. But people just think like, you drive me in, you do this, I just shoot the thing, and then you do all the rest of the work, and you have to this, and you have to that. And it's kind of like, Dude, that's not part of the process.
It's not how this works.
No, it's okay to get in there and get your fucking hands dirty.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're going to have so much better of a time.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite parts of hunting with Neil, and if he listens to this, I don't know, but I don't care, is we shoot boars.
Yes, we do.
Pretty much every time. But we go back to Neil's house.
Yep.
And we set up the skinning rig, and we start processing them. And what he does is he starts setting up the skinning rig, and then he goes and he gets a couple beers.
Yep.
And we sit out there, and we. By the way, when I'm helping, I'm just holding a leg, right?
Yeah.
I'm just moving an animal.
Yeah. He's good at it. He's fucking very
surgeon.
proficient. Yeah. So he'll forever do that. But
Sure.
you always help hold the leg because it makes it easier for him.
Sure.
But he will never pass the knife off.
No.
He's not doing it, but we know that about him.
Sure. But in that process, we're having a beers.
We're shooting the shit. We're joking.
Your fucking endorphins are high.
Yeah.
Because we've shot an animal. We're feeling good about ourselves. Those are some of my favorite conversations because we're sitting there. The hard work is done. Mm-hmm. You're all sharing in the reward.
Yeah.
And now we get to celebrate, drinking beers, skinning pigs, doing this shit. And there's been a lot of times, the last time we hunted with Ella, we skinned out those boars and gutted them, and we sat there in his yard for another hour and a half and drank beer and laughed and joked and it was just a couple guys.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't pay him to get us out there to do that.
No.
It's like we went hunting with one of our buddies.
Yeah, it's hanging out with one of our buddies because I like Neil a bunch. You like Neil a bunch. I think that he's a friend of ours.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't look at it the same way that I did the first time that we went out with him.
Sure.
I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. You're telling me like, hey, you got to get out and open the fence and blah, blah, and I'm like, okay, I got this checklist of shit I need to do. And then we started laughing and joking, and he's just a dude. He's just another dude, and he wants to fucking hang out, and he wants us to kill something bad too. Like he's not out there just like, fuck, okay, get in. He's like, all right, man, we're gonna go over here because I saw some over here. We're gonna do this. He's excited. He the whole time he does this for a living.
Yeah,
he's excited when we come out because we're friends.
Yeah, but he wants you to be successful,
right?
And he's a good guy because I've been with some guys that are like, okay, we're gonna hear. They're kind of like half-assed. I'm like, dude, your job is to get me on an animal.
That's it. That's all I need you to do.
That's all I need you to do. Yeah. I'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'll do the rest. Mm-hmm. But he's passionate about it.
Yeah.
But if something doesn't happen, I remember one of the earlier times we went. It was super hot. It was fucking terrible. There were no animals. It was Saturday. He stopped.
It was the day before Super Bowl.
It was right before Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's the first one we went.
And he goes, you know what, guys? Why don't you guys just leave tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
He goes, it's not going to happen. We'll rebook.
Well, he said, I'll stay out here if you want, but it's going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
And me, I was good with it because I know that he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yep. And
it cost me nothing. It cost us an Airbnb, but at the same time, we went, we fucking hung out, we had a really good time.
We saw a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's the thing is when we go do these things, the hunt is only one part of the things that we actually get to do. Yeah. So we got this coming up in March, man, and I'm excited about it because
me too.
We're going with a bunch of our friends.
I know.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And so people who don't hunt, you think like, okay, you drive up there, shoot, bang, poof, load your truck, drive home. It's not that. It is hanging out, shooting the shit, drinking, getting away, being in nature. Because when we're up north, it's nature. Like the last Airbnb we had where we were fucking up against that mountain, that was amazing, dude. It rained. It was so fucking nice.
Oh, there was turkeys. It was
it was fucking
magical.
Yeah. So if you don't hunt, you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. But think about like if you just went on a camping trip with your boys, and if you've never done that, I highly recommend it.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It is. You don't know how bad you need it until you go do it. That is one of those things, man. And a lot of people, man, if you haven't been out and gone out into the world and just fucking kicked your feet back next to a fire and fucking hung out and talked shit, go do it. You need it. I promise you, you will feel better when you come back.
Oh, it's a great mental reset. How about we skip down to, let's talk about our professions now.
All right, so we got superintendent up here. That sounds like a cool job. Tell me about it, Jack. You're the boss, right? You don't have to do anything.
Oh, man.
You never fucking started on the bottom. You don't know what this is like.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this about my profession. I love my profession.
Yeah.
I like being a superintendent. I'm a superintendent, kind of the new age, if I can describe myself in anything else. Mm-hmm. My dad was a superintendent.
Yep.
And my dad, you guys
you've heard him fucking talk.
Y'all have heard senior, but y'all haven't experienced senior in real life.
No, you got to come hang out.
And my dad was a screaming, angry, fiery superintendent. It's my way or no way. I'll motherfuck you, and if you don't, he used to fight people on his job sites.
Yeah.
It's my way or no fucking way, and this is how it happens. And he was just this, like, his nickname is Bear.
Yeah.
For a fucking reason.
Yeah.
He'd take your head off from the fucking shoulders up. I'm in the same position that he is in, or he was in, and I'm a superintendent of a collaborative. I'm a more of a you catch more flies with honey than vinegar type of guy,
yes.
right? So I try to get everybody involved, and I love like the collaboration. Like when I talk at our projects, we have all hands safety meetings every Monday. Mm-hmm. I make it a very good point to tell all of our trades personnel, like, we are successful because you all have done a good job.
100%.
And I tell them what our hit rate is and our schedule, and I am very much this is because of you. Mm-hmm. It's not because of me.
Right.
I have come up with a plan, and I have come up with a schedule, and I've told you all my plan and schedule, and you are all making my plan and schedule work, and I'm a puppet master, if you will. Mm-hmm. I'm standing in the background, and I'm just kind of guiding people here and making changes, and when the problem happens here, I shift things and I move around, so I try to stay in the background as much as possible and try to drive the project forward by staying in the background and doing that. Because everyone else is a subject matter expert.
Right.
I'm just here to make sure we get us all to the end goal at the end time.
Right.
But again, like we were talking about with like the safety personnel, the inspectors, this. Well, yeah, you're the superintendent and everything, so you're the fucking top dog. You can this, you can that. There's a lot of people that go, I don't give a fuck who you are.
There's a lot of... So construction, you got to remember, you're dealing with hard motherfuckers.
I deal with a lot of motherfuckers that are harder than me.
Yeah, you deal with some straight-up motherfuckers, man.
And I just have to come to them and be like, hey, man, it's like this because I fucking say it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of them go, I don't like that. And I go, you can fucking leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how can you say that to me? Because I run this place.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I this. And I go, that's great.
Yeah.
And I have to be that commanding presence there.
Yeah, if you're a little soft as a superintendent, you're not going to make it.
And a lot of people will kind of look at me kind of like, well, Jack's kind of a soft superintendent. And then they push me, and all of a sudden they go, oh, he's not really that soft.
Don't mistake my kindness for weakness.
That's exactly what I do. And I go, dude, I'll work with you the best I can, but if I have to fucking tax you, I'm going to fucking tax you, and don't think I won't. And I'll pull my contract and schedule and all this stuff out, and every now and then I got a hammer on somebody, and they're like, fuck. And I go,
yeah.
I came uncorked a couple weeks ago. I try not to lose my cool. There were some guys doing some pretty unsafe stuff. And something they shouldn't have been done, and I came out there and was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm screaming.
Well, so for everybody who doesn't understand, a death on a job site's Jack's fault.
That's my fault. Everything's my fault.
Yeah, everything's Jack's fault.
Superintendent's my fault.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you guys understand where Jack's coming from, he's not saying like I was being a dickhead to be a dickhead. If something goes wrong, that's Jack's ass. It's not just his fucking fault. It's his ass. It's his fucking job. It's his fucking livelihood. It is everything. There's motherfucking superintendents who go to prison for their guys dying on job sites.
Yeah.
Like, that's your life. That's gone.
So I came unglued at some of these guys that were doing something very unsafe. And one of our carpenters, he's built like you. We call him Big Sexy. I came at these guys, and fucking Big Sexy was right behind me. And I lit these fucking guys up. And they all were like, oh, shit. We got them out of the building. Everything was okay. Afterwards, I was like, hey, guys, I'm sorry I came in so hot. but X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But with the folks on the job and Big Sexy and everybody else was like, oh, fuck.
Hey, Jack.
Kitty's got some
Johnny
claws.
fucking Frostbite showed up to work today.
Yeah. And Big Sexy was like, dude, I just postured up behind you like, all right, I'm going to fucking Jack's in here. We're going to roll these motherfuckers all this. So your job site dad, I tell everybody, if I can make 75% of the job site happy, that's a great day.
That's a phenomenal day.
That's a great day. And I tell everybody, I am going to upset people all the time.
Yeah.
I just know I'm gonna. And it's funny, I get a lot of subcontractors who talk to me and they go, dude, I wouldn't want your job.
Yeah.
And they go, I have to deal with my crew and they're all fucking assholes.
Yeah.
You have to deal with all of us. All assholes.
Of our crews. Yeah.
And I go, yep. And you guys, I'm a juggler. I'm constantly juggling you guys and keeping everybody and doing all this stuff. And I go, listen, honestly, I've been doing this for 13 years. If I get 75% of you happy, the other 25%, I know I'm going to get my teeth kicked in. Now I'm like, all right.
But like anything else that we talk about, you're never going to make everybody happy. There is no such figure that ever works out unless you're doing a luncheon or
unless you're treating everybody to something.
If you're treating everybody, everybody's happy. But if you hold people accountable, and a lot of people get it, right? But they're people too. A lot of people are going through shit. A lot of people have bad days. A lot of people want to try to buck the system.
Yep.
And a lot of people want to be, leave me alone, I've done this before and nothing bad has ever happened. Well, just because it's never happened doesn't mean that it won't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't make you right.
No.
And people, it's funny, like we talked about with cops and all that kind of stuff. People don't like being called out when they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Even though they know they're doing something wrong. And a lot of times I'll come up to them and be like, hey, man, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this. I go, you know you're not supposed to do that, right? And
why?
They go, yeah. And I go, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And they'll go, well, it's not. I go, too bad. I got to write you up.
Yeah.
I got to send you home. I got to fire you. I fired a guy off a project, my last project, for a year. And the only reason why I did is because I talked to them a couple times about doing something unsafe. And they gave me attitude every time. And it was a young guy.
Yeah. Well.
And every time he gave me attitude, I went, fuck it. I wrote him up. And we have a violation policy. First one's a write-up. Second one's 2 days off. Third one, a year off.
Really?
You cannot come back to one of our projects for a year. He's the only person ever that I've thrown off for a year.
You know what happens when you fuck around, right? You find out.
And he made me so fucking mad.
Yeah.
I lit his ass up. Then he wouldn't sign his thing. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I called the superintendent. I'm like, if he fucking comes back on my job, you're gone.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, shit. And they were like, you know what? We've always had a problem with him anyway. I'm like, then why?
Then why are you keeping him? Why are you making him my problem?
Why did you, we call it pass, why did you pass the trash?
Yes.
Don't pass the trash to me.
Yeah.
But you deal with it on the same way. You're on the sales side of all of this.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. I love my job. You love your job.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
For what it is, I don't want to be doing it.
No. Yeah. And that's the thing. And I couldn't have found a more perfect job for me. Right. And I'll laugh and joke and say like, oh, all I do is golf and go to lunch, and like, it's all the in-between stuff that when you talk about like how great your job is and how this and that and how great everything is, you only tell them good stuff. You only tell your friends good stuff. Like, yeah, no, I'm going golfing or I'm doing this, or I have to go to Napa for a meeting, It's not the 3 a.m. phone calls that you get with somebody screaming at you because what they ordered didn't show up. And then the guy who is responsible for that, because I'm the middleman. Yep. You call me, I'm passing it. I have a team. And I live and die by my team. I'm successful or I fail based on my team. So if I pass something to my team and they drop the ball, you're not calling my driver. You don't have his fucking phone number. You're calling me, it's my fault.
Well, also, like a superintendent, it's your fault.
Oh,
you're the boss.
Yeah. Oh,
you're the guy in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always, did you forget to put my shit in? Did you this? Did you that? And in their eyes, it's always I could have called somebody else and somebody else would have made sure that, you know, so I have competition here in California, and they have options, but it's, you know, 3 a.m. they didn't get what they needed to do their job. They're calling me. I'm calling my team and they're not answering because it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I can't, for the life of me, I cannot ignore a call. I won't, because I know what it's like to feel helpless and be in that situation where you just need some fucking help. So I will always answer my phone, and I always do my best to help, man. And there's been times where I'll drive out to the job site and I'll be like, what can I do? I've gone in and built, you know, we build things for our job and delivered them and fucking stayed up all night and then worked the next day to make sure that these guys were taken care of. It's not that I ever tell anybody about. It's the fucking golf tournament, you know, or the lunches, or because in sales I get to do a lot of cool shit. I'm not gonna lie and say like, oh, my job's terrible. No, my job on the outside looking in is fucking great. Like all these other professions, on the outside looking in, you're like, bro, you don't do anything. You make a lot of money to fucking hang out and you do a podcast and you fucking drink with your friend and do like, no, it's all the shit that we do before this fucking hour and a half that we get to hang out that nobody sees, man. And I'm not going to burden people with my shit. You know, like, what do you give a fuck that I got a phone call last night at 3 a.m.? Or I got it, you know, I'm getting kicked off a job site because this other guy came in 70% off my fucking list. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And my paychecks are tied to how much business I do. Yeah. So then I have to say, man, do I go 75% off? Do I go 80% off? Or do I just say fuck it and wait till they fuck up? Yeah. Because now my family doesn't eat off of that job. My paychecks are literally tied to the 20 accounts that I have. And if my competition comes in and undercuts me, it's like anything else. I can't be mad at you for taking a better fucking deal.
Well, that's a funny, delicate dance that you lead. I don't have to deal with that. No. But you, being in sales, you have to navigate those waters. And unfortunately, sales is such a cutthroat business a lot of times that they don't care.
Bro, it's who brought you a cheeseburger today. That's what I say. I say I could buy a motherfucker for a cheeseburger.
I do, and I'll tell you what, being on a job site, I've had a lot of salespeople bring random shit. Yeah. But a lot of times they kind of rely on that. But I've gotten to the point too where I've been so mad at a vendor. Mm-hmm. We had one vendor, had issues with him. We'll go into it. Somehow, every time they came out, they're like, okay, how's this? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go to lunch. Mm-hmm. They're saying, let's go to lunch. And they want to take the team to lunch and all this. And I finally got to the point where I told everybody, don't fucking go to lunch with them. Yeah. Because they're going to try to win you over lunch. And for me, I refuse to go to lunches with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I refuse to do a lot of stuff with a lot of people. Yeah. Because I'm just like, this is just a ploy. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I want you to perform. Yes. That's it.
So those are very far and few in between, right? So I've had guys tell me like, hey, such and such company sends my family to Hawaii for a week every year. You're going to do that or we're not going to use you. So I, at the very beginning of sales, was always like, I hate this. I hate, what'd you bring me today? Take me to lunch. Buy me tickets for this. I hate being that fucking gimme. I'm not playing that game.
It's dirty pool. It's like it's like what you said with Joey. Why didn't even help us out on this podcast?
Yeah. Like, and I tell people like, I could buy you for a fucking cheeseburger. That means that my cheeseburger today gets fucking outbid by a double cheeseburger tomorrow. There's no loyalty. If I that's why I only have 20 accounts, because I only deal with my friends. I only deal with people that I know respect me for who I am and know that I'll get you out of any jam you're in. I'm not like, well, I fucking took you to Hawaii for a week. Fuck you. You're going to order for me for the next year and I don't care. No, I only deal with my friends because I know that and these are dudes that come to my house. Like, you've met all these dudes that I work with. I know that at the drop of a dime, if I need something, hey, you got this project over here, you're not running, but so-and-so is. Can you put in a good word? Can you tell them I'm your friend? Can you just see what you can do? 100%. And it works both ways. It's the guys that when I was young coming up, would just be like, fucking, hey, take my crew to lunch and then this and then that. And then we're going to I'm going to order 2 meals to go home for my fucking wife and my kid. Like, and I'm like, I don't want to be this guy.
But also, you don't want to associate your business with that type of person.
No.
Like, I don't want to sell you because it's funny, you make the cheeseburger, double cheeseburger. The other guy's going to take us out for steak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all y'all cheeseburger motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
And so here's the thing too is I enjoy going to nice dinners and lunches and things with people that I have something in common with and people that I want to hang out with. So I'll do lunches often with friends of mine.
Sure.
But I'm not trying to win your business today by being the low I call it the low price leader, right? We're racing to the bottom. If that's how you want to do your business, then do your business that way. There used to be loyalty in this industry, and it's very far gone, man, because a lot of people, a lot of the mom and pop shops, they'll do whatever they want. They'll fucking charter a private jet down to Mexico. You go out to Mexico for a week. Take all the execs from a company to Mexico for a week. Can I do that? Sure. I've had guys tell me, like, I need money. You bring me an envelope every month. I'm like,
dude,
like,
no.
I don't get paid enough to fucking entertain your fucking bullshit. My company now is goddamn enormous. They're definitely not paying me to fucking pay you, motherfucker.
Oh, no. They're not. They're super corporate.
Yeah.
We are not doing that.
My company is so by the book. We send out every year we do a ethics and all that shit, and it's like, have you done any of these things this year? Have you promised anybody anything? Have you blah 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 blah? And they will fucking fire you. They will let you fucking go because you're a number. There's like, I don't know. We just bought another company. I think we just bought H&E for a couple $1 billion. Yeah, dude, we're buying everybody right now. So we're probably up over 40,000 employees at this point. They don't need fucking Jerett Medberry, who's out of fucking B68. Like,
no, but they also don't need customers or clients.
Yeah.
They're going to demand that you do this. And that's what I think that's the thing that a lot of people, we can akin this to a lot of jobs, is you are providing a service.
Right.
Be you a cop, a firefighter, an EMT, a hunting guide, a superintendent, a sales rep. You are providing a service. I don't have to go crazy above and beyond and comply with every one of your wants and wishes and needs and desires as a quote-unquote customer or a person that receives that care. Mm-hmm. I don't have to fucking comply with that shit.
I don't owe you anything.
No.
I owe you nothing.
I owe you what is owed by my fucking contract, and that's it.
Yeah. And I will tell people all the time. So people will call in at 4:30 in the afternoon. I need this at 7 a.m.
Nope.
So 7 a.m. deliveries are like golden tickets, right? So you first come, first serve.
Sure.
We had guys so well at that they would plan their work ahead because it's planning or not. I mean, like, you're fucking flying by the edge of your seat or you're planning your days. Dudes would call at 10 a.m. Hey, I don't need this today. I need it tomorrow. 7 a.m. first run. Boom, right? We have 4 trucks. As soon as first runs get loaded for those 4 trucks, now you're on the second round, right? Which could be 10, 11 o'clock.
Well, first round's going to go deliver, come back, be loaded, and then go do it.
And smart business, you go out, you do a pickup because you don't deadhead. And then you come back, offload, reload, take your break. So we're efficient, right? So for people who are listening to this who are in construction, we're pretty proficient. So that's a typical, right? You want to do that. But as your yard guys are loading the truck, your driver's taking his break because they're mandatory. They have to take breaks. So it's just an operation, just circles of people, and then they check their load, and then they go out. Some days, dude, we don't have time for that. Like, we'll have 20, 30 fucking orders that have to go out. We have 4 or 5 trucks at a time. These guys got to take lunch. You can only work so long. You keep log books. Literally, and weight. So your weight, you're limited by weight, right? 42,000 pounds or whatever, 38,000 pounds on a trailer, whatever it is. And then time of day, traffic, distance. I mean, like, we try to strategically place our yards everywhere, but If you're at 29 Palms, that's an all-day trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at some of these locations, man, like, it's a fucking Chula Vista in San Diego. They run all of San Diego County. Like, Chula Vista, that's the fucking border for people who don't know. Chula Vista's fucking pretty deep in fucking San Diego.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll cover your job. Like, my guys from Chula Vista will go to your job, and that's time and fucking gas. And I mean, like, there's a lot of things that go into it that people don't understand, and it's not their problem, it's mine.
But it's the I need it now because I say I need it now.
Because I fucked up.
And you fucked up. No, you called me.
Yeah.
And so I tell a lot of kids on my job site, if you send an email at 3 on a Friday, it doesn't count.
Nobody's getting it till Monday morning.
If you send an email past noon on a Friday, it doesn't count. That's not day one of the countdown clock.
Yes.
Because that's not how it fucking works.
Yeah.
And I'll tell my subconscious, they're like, well, I told you Friday at 2:30. And I go, well.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
But I'll tell them.
Nobody was there.
That's not day one. Because that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You send it out in a Hail Mary at the end of the day.
Yeah, that is you fucked up. So anything at 2 afternoon on a Friday, you've known about.
Yep.
Things on Friday don't just pop up.
Nope.
Like, maybe very rarely, but, dude, I've got guys who call in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Monday orders. Hey, I'm going to be out here. I got this job. I got this thing. And I've gotten to a point where I know, like, hey, if you're ordering this thing over this thing, you really don't need plates at 7 a.m., right? Plates are end of the day things that you're going to cover the ground with. I know I can fucking, I'm going to have those out to you by 1 o'clock. Is that cool? You know, so you can still get your crew out of there. Yeah, that's fine. But everybody's first call, bro, 7 a.m. Can I get this at 7 a.m.? It's fucking... And I'm not a guy who's going to bullshit you. I'm not going to tell you, like, yes, you can have it at 7 a.m. because I don't want you to call somebody else or because, you know, whatever, I want to make myself look good. Because I know at 11 o'clock when that shit shows up, you're going to be like, fucking Jerett fucked me.
Yep.
Every time. So I'm real with you. Hey, man, it's fucking 2 o'clock on a Friday? No, you can't. Sorry.
You can get it.
Yeah, like, hey, I'll give you a window because we do a 3-hour window. You know, worst case scenario it's this, best case scenario it's this, and we're accurate on our windows. And I know when I put in an order, it says the fucking window that you're going to get. Hey, it's this time. And I've lost orders. People will be like, no, I'll call somebody else. Fine.
All right, bye.
Do what you have to do or plan better. Yeah. I can help you out if you plan better.
Yeah.
So
what is it? Your poor planning does not.
Yeah, piss poor planning. Yeah, piss poor planning on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on mine.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. My dad lived by that, and you know, my dad was a sales guy and did all this stuff, and my dad worked in my industry, and he knew, man. And when you're talking about, so we do underground shoring, right? So when you talk about building shores, you're talking about a real fucking amount of time put in, where you have to put in extensions and then rails, and I'm like, I've done it. It takes time. People are like, I'll be there in 30 minutes to pick them up. Like, no. I need 2.5 hours minimum, and I'll give you what I got.
And it's life critical. This is going to keep somebody alive.
Yeah.
Let's take some time and do it right.
Yeah, let's do it right. So, and that's why I tell my guys all the time, never rush. Never rush. Because you are in charge of somebody's life out there. And these guys depend on us. And that's the thing, too, man, is when you have shoddy equipment or you put things together on a whim because you're like, oh, well, this will work for now. It's somebody's life, man, and it's not yours.
Yeah.
It's never you, because if it's you, you'll take your fucking time. And it's always, I need it right now, I need it right now, I need it right now. I don't care. I'm not putting that out there for somebody to get hurt. I'm not doing it. Dude, we've had guys get killed plates, right? So you jack against 8x20 plates. They weigh fucking 8,000 pounds. That crushes you to death when it falls on you. Mm-hmm. People get fucking hit with plates. People get hit with all kinds of shit. If you look up, I don't know, fucking, we used to have faces of death, but if you look up like construction deaths in your area, you'd be surprised what kills people.
Yeah.
It's not what you think.
And it's now.
Yeah, oh, dude, and it's squished. It's fucking, all these dudes are getting fucking smashed by something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these beams are heavy. All this shit is heavy. Everything on the construction site is designed to kill you.
Our CEO, our former CEO said, when you walk through the front gate, you need to have the mindset that this job site is trying to kill me.
Yeah. Oh, all day.
It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Electrician, plumber, framer, mechanic. If you're doing underground, if you are painting the wall, this job site's going to kill you.
Just imagine, dude. So you build hospitals and buildings and big buildings. Imagine if something small falls off the top of a building. It's carrying fucking force on its way down. It's going to hit you and it's going to fucking hurt.
There was a story probably, maybe 10 years ago. 35-foot Fat Max tape measure fell off a skyscraper in New Jersey and killed the guy on the ground.
I believe it. I believe it.
That Fat Max, I don't know if anybody's ever put a Fat Max on. I don't know. They're like 4 pounds. Yeah. That fucking thing killed somebody on the ground.
Yeah, well, because everything falls at the same rate of speed.
The terminal velocity is a real thing. Isaac Newton had a whole philosophy on this thing. If y'all haven't been educated to do it,
it's coming. And I don't know if people realize how soft your fucking melon is. Your head is fucking very soft, man. Things go through it.
Yes, sir.
So, if you ever find yourself walking onto a job site or coming up to, I don't know, anything that doesn't look safe, anything that you don't understand or know about, stay away. Do not fucking find yourself in there. Don't, if there's cones up around a hole, don't go fucking drive past it and see how deep it is, and don't do it. All right, just fucking, if you see something that looks wrong, it's wrong.
Yep.
And that's about the best advice I can give you for our things, right? So what we live is everything there will kill you. I promise you. And I'm not trying to scare anybody or trying to be, I'm badass, I got this job. No. If you walk around a job site, you will have the potential of getting hurt. So just be careful.
Please. So
what do you think, man? You think that we OSHA this one out?
I think we OSHA this one out. I think we've talked about a lot of person, and like we've said, if you're a firefighter,
thank you,
a nurse, a doctor, military, construction worker, anybody that we've talked about, you want to come on here and talk about your profession, we'd love to have you on here.
Well, and that's the thing too is that there's a lot of different perspectives and a lot of people who've seen a lot of different shit. A lot of people who have a lot of different experiences.
I've seen a lot of things and I can elaborate a lot, but there are a lot of people who've seen way different from what I've seen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you are any of the things listed or a profession that you think is interesting, let us know. We'll bring you on and we can talk about your thing. Even if we know nothing about it, we know nothing about half the shit we talked about. So.
We'd love to hear your story.
Yeah. Yeah, so, all right, well, I guess I've been Jerett.
I've been Jack.
And this has been Shatter Wisdom Podcast, and you motherfuckers are welcome.